All right, so this book is called Power and Persuasion on Madison Avenue, The Image Makers. It's by William Meyers. So this book was published in 1984, which I was born in 1983. So I feel like this is kind of like the handoff, right? It's like everything that I've learned about, like from observation about the way the world looks right now, like this guy's telling me how it came to look that way to begin with. Because like he made it, right? Like 1984, this guy, William Meyers, he's on the top of the world. He's at the top of his game, like, and he's writing a tell-all expose about how the ad agencies on Madison Avenue crafted essentially like modern society through their approach. So within the first chapter, he talks about psychographic, right? Not demographics, psychographics, right? It's not your age, it's not your race, it's not like your level of income or how many kids you have. Like that's all demographic stuff, right? Like this is psychographics, it's how you think. So Madison Avenue ad agencies categorized American culture, all the people that participate in American culture, by how they think, and then figured out on behalf of the corporations that hired them to do this, figured out how to hack that thinking to insert a product into your mind in a way that basically manipulates you into buying their product based on how you think, right? So he categorizes, he goes in and he spells out what these different psychographic categories are. So I'm just going to tell you about the one that really stood out to me, because written in 1984, right? So he talks a lot about the cultural changes that happened in the 60s and the 70s, the Woodstock generation, right? Particularly the like in the 70s, right? In this 1984, it's like he really watched, like, there's the bulk of his career is really watching that play out in terms of how that was affecting advertising. So like all of a sudden you had all these hippies, and they're rejecting the typical consumer culture. They're like, oh no, like flashy physical things. Like I don't need flashy physical things. Like I'm more interested in experiences and in like dancing around in the flowers with my friends, right? Like whole different way of thinking, right? So they had to retarget that group in particular and figure out how hippies think, so they could get hippies to buy back in to consumer culture. So what's fascinating to me is from the perspective of 2017, getting this history, and then also like my own personal history of how I've observed the way the modern world works, and like some of the kind of bizarre things that like I've never fully understood until reading this book, right? Like, oh, that's why things are the way they are. Like that's why people act this way. That's why advertisers use that approach. Like it all makes sense now, right? It's all patterns, and the patterns are emerging again. So he talks specifically about a psychographic group called societally conscious achievers. And he describes them as the flower children of America's consumer culture. Members of the post-World War II baby boom generation who care more about inner peace and environmental safety than about financial success and elegant surroundings. Right? Remind you of anybody you know today?
Yeah.
Right? A lot of millennials falling into that category, right? Personal, not professional, fulfillment matters the most to these individuals. Societally conscious achievers, constituting approximately 20% of the US population, are experimental. They'll try anything from acupuncture to Zen, as long as it fits into their uncomplicated lifestyle. Unlike the emulator achievers, which is another psychographic distinction that he makes, whose materialistic drives are constrained by the economy, these gradually graying hippies are self-constrained in their purchasing behavior. So the materialistic guys, like, they'll spend as much money as they have. But these people, they're societally conscious. They're a little bit more, laid back and reserved in the way they spend. Many of them are dropouts from the world of commerce. Dropouts. Reformed strivers, they used to strive, right? The struggle, they used to be in the struggle, and then they grew up a little bit and found the Zen, right? But they no longer see the need for conspicuous consumption. Check this out though, this is the part that I was like, whoa, he's describing millennials, right? A typical societally conscious achiever might be an antiques dealer living in a 19th century barn he restored himself. Instead of spending his weekends carousing at the country club with doctors, lawyers, and stockbrokers, he's tending to his organic garden. A lover of the outdoors, he wants to share his experience with his kids, who spend their free time hiking through the woods rather than playing video games. 1984, dude. 1984. 30 years ago. More than 33 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, 33 years ago. And he's describing like a trend that like, you know, that was just emerging then.
Wow.
You know, but like here it is. It's here. And then check this out. This part is like, whoa. Societally conscious achievers often shop for their clothing by mail. By mail!
That was going on back then?
By mail, yeah. Choosing LL Bean moccasins. Yeah, because catalogs, right?
Yeah,
Catalogs.
okay.
Dude, that was the world. That was your access to the world, was catalogs. Catalogs. They choose LL Bean moccasins over Gucci loafers. They usually drive small foreign cars like Mazda, Honda, Volvo, or Subaru, which is still very true today, right? Lighter wines or wholesome beverages such as herbal tea, fruit juice, or bottled water. Today I would say kombucha, right?
Yeah.
Are preferred by these inner-directed citizens to the scotch, vodka, gin that their parents drink. If they smoke at all, counterculturalists generally puff on healthy, low-tar merits. What is it for us? American spirit?
Yeah.
Same fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing. It's crazy. These fitness-oriented citizens also take their exercise seriously. Nike and New Balance running shoes are essential parts of their athletic wardrobe. So check this out. This is where it gets sexy, right? Societally conscious achievers are the ad industry's toughest challenge. They need to be told in their own iconoclastic language that their low-key values and attitudes make sense. They turn a deaf ear to advertising unless it whispers softly. Several imported car manufacturers have won the confidence of societally conscious achievers by emphasizing counterculture buzzwords such as simplicity and integrity. Volvo calls itself a car you can believe in. Subaru says it's inexpensive and built to stay that way. It is estimated that by 1990, almost 1/3 of the United States will share the practical worldview of societally conscious achievers. As a result, an increasing number of marketers are quickly learning the new vocabulary and switching from high tech to high touch. The image makers, man. The image
Dude,
makers.
that book was so ahead of its time.
So ahead, but like right on time.
Yeah,
in my
on
life
time.
anyways, yeah. So that one just kind of fell into my hands. Picked that one up from Savers.